Welcome to Beach Life Unlocked, episode 16. Mitchell David here with my colleague Mike Dotson. Today we're going to be discussing, just because you get a property under contract, it's not the finish line. It's far from it.
Just getting started.
You're just getting started.
Now real work begins.
It does. And, when we write the offer, we put together, not just what your price is, but whatever contingencies as well.
Right. I mean, you got home inspection, appraisal, if you have finance contingencies, all those things have to be fulfilled before.
That's correct. And if you're a seller, then you also need to make sure your property is available for the inspection, right? Mm-hmm. You also need to make sure that if you're in a condo and an HOA, that you're providing the proper documentation, or at least your management company is, right?
Yep.
You have to have a clear deed and title, so hopefully there's not any liens going on. So
exactly.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And ensuring you get everything, you get all your stuff together, your documents together that you're going to need for your financing. You get the home inspection, review the home inspection properly. Then you're negotiating potentially with a seller on getting things fixed or a credit.
That's right.
I mean, it's very involved. Yeah.
Right. So if you're a buyer out there and you just have started, you're a new buyer and you're looking to buy, or if you haven't bought in a long time, get excited. I mean, be super happy that you got the property under contract for the price, hopefully, that you were looking to get. But remember also that if you don't have all your ducks in a row for your contingencies, that could definitely be some pretty big hurdles within the transaction.
Yeah, it can make you, it adds even more stress to the process.
Correct.
If you don't have your stuff together and you're scrambling to get things together, trying to figure out how to navigate the process if you've never done it before. That's what we're here for.
And we are. I think that's the super important part, and I'm glad Mike kind of let in with that, is you really need to lean on your trusted real estate agent, the one who's been through the ringer numerous times. Mm-hmm. And we still, to this day, we've been doing it a long time. We still learning stuff new every day because, we have new buyers and new sellers. And let me explain to you that we say we've seen it all because we've seen a lot.
I don't think we've seen it all, because
definitely not seen it all.
Every day I feel like I'm surprised by something new that comes up in a transaction. But in order to have a smooth transaction, you got to have all your stuff together. You got to make sure you know what you're buying, right? And you're confident that the property is in a condition that you're happy with.
Correct.
So.
And then remember too that each one of these contingencies, they come with a time frame.
Yep.
Right. It's not like, for you all who are new out there, it's not like I'm doing a home inspection and you can do a home inspection whenever you want to.
Yeah.
Right? Time frame.
Sometimes not till June 30th. You don't have to get this done now, do we? No.
And the answer is you actually do. And if you don't do it, at least for the home inspection portion of it, if you don't do it within a time frame that you're allotted, you're waiving the home inspection.
It's not an option.
Right.
Yeah.
The home inspection is not an option anymore. So, if you're a realtor watching this, remember you are the gatekeeper of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Make sure you know your dates. Keeping your people on task.
Know your dates. I mean, again, it's a starting point. The under contract is a starting point. It is not the finish line. And if you're sprinting and thinking it is, you're in a whole world of trouble. Mike and I have gone through this all the time, and I'm going through a home inspection, and even within a home inspection, the response time from another agent has a time frame on it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make your decision as far as the buyer goes on what you're going to ask for, if anything, in a home inspection. Then you get that to the seller. Then the seller is now on the clock because they need to respond in a timely fashion. And then, after that, you have to go back and forth. If you can't come to an agreement, it's potential that things could fall apart. I mean, buyer and seller in Maryland can walk away from a transaction after enough time has passed.
Right. And there's again, we're not attorneys, so we're not giving you legal advice, but there are a bunch of default items in there that will allow an exit for somebody. So again, if you're a seller not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or a buyer not supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, you are in default. And again, if you're in default, the contract can be canceled.
Yeah, you might not even have a contract.
Could you? Right. You might think you're under contract when actually you're in default and you're not under contract. And, that's why this is a very stressful business.
Yeah.
Because, again, we're here to guide you, but you ultimately have to do the work. You have to put the time, energy, and effort into yourself if you want to get to that finish
Yeah,
line.
it takes everybody working together, buyer, seller, and their agents throughout.
Correct.
A lot of checkpoints you've got to come to as you work your way through your transaction. So hitting everyone and not missing any, I think is crucial.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about too, and it might get lost on a lot of people, but you have to realize too that if you're a listing agent, you should be requiring that the buyer agent and the buyer is sending you some status updates, and or yourself making those phone calls.
Check in with the lender, check in with the home inspector. How are we looking? The appraiser, has that been ordered?
Yep.
Where are we in the process? Yeah, for sure.
Right, because what you don't know. You don't know. And so nothing worse than being especially a listing agent and thinking everything's moving smooth. And then all of a sudden, 5 days before closing, you get a phone call saying, yeah, no, we're not closing.
Yeah.
Can we get an extension?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm dealing with it right now.
Yeah. So our point is, it's always, this is, we're not bringing things up that we think are going to happen. We're bringing these up because we know they're going to happen, and we're trying to put you in the best position to be able to get this to clear to close.
Avoiding those pitfalls.
The pitfalls, and
Avoid them at all costs.
You do need to. And here's the other thing too: is if you're in a really great market and you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing in the time frame, and you have a listing agent on top of their game, they're going
to call you out,
cancel your contract, and all of a sudden, because of time frames, you now lost that deal
because you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
You know what you're supposed to do. So what we're trying to get here is for you all to understand that it is imperative on you to get the work done up front. Be prepared, understand what you're getting yourself into, but also rely on that experienced real estate agent that you have your trust in.
Yeah. I think in any transaction, if you don't have an agent that's on top of their game, not keeping you on top of yours, it's you could run into some real problems. And if it's a property you really want, you could lose your dream home.
Yeah. I say it all the time. I swear, and the more I do this and the longer I've done it, I think it's true. Being in real estate and having clients is like being in a marriage. And well, because there's ups and downs, right? But the most important thing is communication.
Yeah.
And if you keep the line of communication open throughout, and everybody knows where everybody is, and everybody's advancing that ball, it's going to be successful. But if one or both parties shuts down or don't know where you are,
then nobody knows where they are.
Exactly.
Potentially, like you said, we're not attorneys, but potentially could put you in a bad spot as a buyer or a seller.
Right. And because, I'm sure we'll talk about this numerous times in other videos we do, but, obviously you have an earnest money deposit, that can be forfeited. But that's not the only recourse.
Any loss due to default in a transaction.
On either side. On either side. So
additional funds.
Additional funds. So again, we're not attorneys, and we're not going to get in here saying that you're going to lose $10,000 or $20,000. But there could be a huge mistake that costs you a lot of money, a lot more than that, if you aren't doing those things. So again, Mike and I say this all the time. Feel free to reach out to us, text us, call us. We're here to help you advance, and sometimes maybe it'll lead to a working relationship. But at least if you call us, you're going to get the proper information to move forward. So give us a ring, or you can visit our website,
BeSlaveRoadCity.com.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.